Hello and welcome to UAT Time within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website firstuat.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other by introducing the Velichanskiy to the rest of the world.
If corruption is a disease, then Ukraine is like an organism which has not found any cure yet. A lot of doctors out there, but no vaccine has been invented and applied, or it seems like.
Our guest today is Anastasiya Danylenko, political scientist, managing partner of Our People magazine.
Welcome.
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 Well, thank you very much for stopping by, and let's get right down to December 9. There is, I didn't know that there is such a holiday, or holiday,
special
or
day.
A date, special date, International Date of Fight with Corruption.
Yeah.
Is there anything like this?
Yes, we celebrated such holiday, and I would like to tell that I think the most efficient enemy in Ukraine isn't the Russian Federation,
Exactly.
isn't the external enemies, it's corruption. And if to remember the recent visit of the Vice President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and his speech to the Ukrainian parliament, he said that corruption is like the cancer which is the Ukrainian society, and we should fight corruption. I, as a young leader, have founded the non-governmental organization which fights corruption. And I think that young leaders, youth should fight corruption because we should work for prosperity of our society and for the benefit of the country we live in. Unfortunately, in Ukraine, there is a year and a half after the processes, Euromaidan processes, and no reforms. There is the long way to realize, to implement these reforms into life. And corruption is the most, the biggest enemy of realization of these reforms in Ukraine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because we know that you're involved in the organization that basically, what is your organization?
The name of your organization. Yeah.
First, I would like to introduce myself,
Yes.
to tell more about me. I'm the political scientist and political expert, and I have political science education and received my PhD. It was my first education. The second one is economics. That's why all my other activities are inextricably linked with policy, with political science, and that's why I work as political expert. I also founded not only non-governmental organization, but also PR agency, which consults politicians on social and media activities, on public relations work, and also gives some professional advices as for their further political activity. As for other my occupations, I also own the magazine, which is called Наши люди. I can show it. In English, it is called like Our People. And about the history of this journal, I will tell later. And I would like also to be this journal to be social-political one, to be widespread all over the world, not even Ukraine. And that's why now I'm in negotiation process with different embassies, Ukrainian embassies, because I would like Ukrainian diaspora to know about the current situation in Ukraine, about the processes which we have in Ukrainian society, about the changes, because we also have positive changes. We should understand that reforms is the long way for realization, and that's why I understand the disappointment and frustration of Ukrainian people, because they would like to have just change just now, but we should wait, and there are many positive changes, and I can stop and tell about these changes in my speech.
Yeah. Well, how about, like, how do you view the situation? You mentioned that for almost now 2 years that, you know, very little is noticeable as far as reforms. What is your observation? Like recently, finally, the civil administration law has been adopted. So it seems like there are some moves. Is it because of the Biden's travel? Actually, there is a good, in Kyiv Post, there is a good analysis and key quotes of Biden's speech address to Verkhovna Rada, and basically corruption dominated the whole major address. So what is your observation? How are we doing right now?
I would like to say that we live in a very difficult time.
Yeah.
Ukraine faces crisis, economic crisis. Ukraine faces war in the eastern part of Ukraine.
Yes.
And the government, I don't envy our government, because if to listen to Ukrainians tell it there's no reform within the last year. And I understand Ukrainian people, because they are concerned with economic problems, with the national security problems and
Prices.
But I would like to say that reform has begun, and now I will tell why I think so. Because we have also positive changes. I remember the year 2015 when we had another form, another political system when it was presidential one. In the year 2014, it has changed. Now we have parliamentary presidential political system, and this system limits the power of presidency. I would like also to say that Ukraine adopted a package of anti-corruption laws and also set new anti-corruption institutions. For example, Anti-Corruption Bureau, which fights corruption in Ukraine. And I hope that also judicial processes will also improve to introduce the greater transparency and opportunity for Ukrainian society, for public oversight of corruption cases. And there have been no high-profile convictions yet, but I hope that they will be. And as for fight with corruption, I would like to say that I would like these new institutions to be independent in their fight with corruption. And as for positive changes, I think that the most effective achievement of Ukrainian government is that this year we changed our gas laws, and this year and now I will say with the figures, as much as 60% of Ukrainian gas imports comes from Europe, including Russian gas. Unfortunately, 30% is still comes directly from Russia. But if to compare with the year 2015, it was about 90%. And I think the reversal of gas trade is a major achievement and accomplishment for Ukrainian government, because it's our independence. It's our independence from Russian Federation, because now we are in this situation of war. That's why we have positive changes. But of course, this is the long way to implement all the reforms, to bring them into life. That's why some people and most Ukrainians are disappointed, because they are hungry, they are not provided with products.
Really, okay, a lot of reform, but maybe this is only blah, 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 because, you know, the problem, I speak like a EU expert now. Okay, you wrote the law, you adopted the law, and the process. I can vote it for a lot of law, but the process of the law, on the ground, what's happened? That's what, you know, you say
the
that...
implementation.
Yeah, implementation of the law. Where? What? Who? With whom? And the problem is
who's
here.
in prison, right?
Yeah.
But I hope that judicial processes will improve the situation and they will be more transparent. Now I'm speaking about the General Prosecutor's Office. It's on agenda, and I hope these new anti-corruption institutions will be independent. But we have already set them. So we have these new institutions. So I hope in the nearest future we will have some new cases, and the
USA and European Union will not wait for a few years.
Yeah.
We will not wait. We want result now.
I know that the European Union wants the result now.
USA
and even
also.
Joe Biden said in his speech that in case you don't do anything, you will lose our support, our international support.
Yes.
And I would like to say, as a citizen of Ukraine, what do I expect from the United States, from the European Union? I would like to treat them as our friends, because Ukraine now faces crisis, Ukraine now faces war, and we need this international support. And from the European Union, we expect for ratification of the European Union-Ukraine Association. We also expect for energy reforms and for macro-financial assistance, which is really important. And Ukraine now needs the help of the European Union and now needs the help of the United States. And I hope after Joe Biden's visit, after the visits of prominent European politicians, Ukraine will understand its mistakes and will improve the situation and will fight corruption and do something to improve the situation.
You have the trouble of Biden in Kiev, but also Jean-Claude Juncker, you know, say that he wants to make free visa with Ukraine.
And also Georgia.
What?
And also Georgia,
Yeah.
another country.
And we are waiting because we want to give free visa, but we want to give free visa in exchange of the reforms.
Yeah.
Just like the money. Then, you know, for me, the only way to put this country to change is to make a lot of pressure.
I think that should
And
be unstoppable.
I am
The
very
pressure
happy.
should be-
I am very happy about the travel of Biden in Kiev, because I think he is a very clever man, and he was very frank and sincere. So okay, do your job. We will help you. Stop your job. We will stop to help you.
I even have written out his quotation when he said to the Ukrainian parliament,
Okay.
we saw oligarchs ousted from power only for them to return. We understand how difficult some of the votes for reforms are, but they are critical for putting Ukraine back on the right path. So Joe Biden was disappointed about the situation in Ukraine,
Well,
but we have positive changes.
I don't know if he saw them because the way he looked as he spoke and his, you know, his emotions were not that optimistic. Though he, in return of reforms,
But
he
come on,
promised 190 million.
If Biden come and if he will be optimistic, and if European Union say, okay, we are very optimistic, then the Ukrainian government will do nothing.
No, I know, but
Then we have to be very.
well, what we have, the civil administration law has been adopted. Hopefully,
That's a good step.
It is a good step.
That's a good step.
Very much. Now the taxes, the tax law is about to be, it's been discussed as well. But another thing is what I've noticed on your Facebook page, that the government has created two new positions. I thought they have existed in you know, previously, but vice prime
President
vice
on European
pri-
issues and also vice president on corruption
on
issues.
corruption, yes. Haven't we had those?
It's inside information. We are waiting for
so
these
it hasn't been-
these new two positions.
Okay.
But I know that the situation will be in such way that we will receive these new two positions, two vice prime ministers, and
Okay, no, because
everything, as I
I thought
wrote
we
it,
had
right.
positions like this, but then maybe they have cancelled it, and now they you know, Euro integration and corruption, you know, vice prime ministers of that would be interesting. And so, would you say that the vice prime minister in the affairs of fight with corruption could be?
Saakashvili.
Could
But it's inside information.
Yes, I think
hope
so. I am
next
agree
2
with
weeks
that. I
we'll
received
see
this
and,
information also.
receive good news.
Well,
But I would
wait
like
and
also to
see.
say that I'm, as a political scientist, really very active in Facebook. I think that social media is an important and integral part of our life, and we should take our viewpoint and give it to our audience, because young people write many interesting things in their
Sure.
pages.
Sure.
We are a lot of political scientists or EU experts, to think that Saakashvili will increase his power.
Let's wait, and hopefully once he get there, maybe we can get him.
And we received some information also about that.
UAT
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
And maybe we will make interview in our journal with Michael Saakashvili and ask him such questions about
I saw
fight
some
with corruption.
interview,
And I would like to tell about also my
Yes.
magazine.
Yeah, please,
Really,
present.
it was Jewish one. It was the magazine of Jewish community. And this summer I bought the edition. Now I'm the owner with my partner of this edition. Early it was Dnipropetrovsk local journal, and now I would like it to be the all-Ukrainian national journal.
Okay.
Yes, and
Saakashvili.
you see, I treat the people of all nationalities as Ukrainians in the case they live in Ukraine. For me, Georgians, Armenians, Tatars, Russians, they are all Ukrainians because they have Ukrainian citizenship and they are talented people who work for the prosperity and the benefit of the country they live in. I would like this journal to be multiple political and social overview, to give different viewpoints to our audience, and I presented this journal to you. Then you will have time to look at it. Yes, and I'm sure that very soon this journal will be widespread, and this summer I made my first step. I negotiated with the supermarket Silpo, and now it is sold in Silpo supermarkets. And I also will repeat once more that now we are in negotiation process with the Ukrainian embassies, because I would like to unite Ukrainians from all over the world, also to give the information about the current situation in Ukraine to Ukrainian diaspora. And our journal is seeking to promote political collaboration between Ukrainians across a range of countries. That's why now I'm working at this journal, and I would like to be it good, interesting, and in easily digestible format, of course.
Very nice looking.
Yes, very nice
quality
looking.
And,
well,
we
good
just
quality.
wish you luck on that, and hopefully
thank you very much.
Your success will start when UAT time anchors will be on it too.
Sure.
I will give an interview.
All right.
And we'll discuss European Union reforms and what do the European Union wait from Ukraine, not only Ukraine waits from the European Union, because it's the
Ukraine can do a lot
the
for
dialogue
the
between
Union.
two parts.
Well, yes, totally agree. Yeah, totally agree with that. And yes, and you are doing an investigation on corruption. Can you talk about that? Because you have your team and you work on that. Can you explain what are you doing now with this investigation on corruption?
I have found the non-governmental organization.
Yeah.
It's agency which fights corruption, and I have colleagues, journalists who work with me. And of course, in this situation when the main enemy of Ukraine, I will repeat once more, is corruption, not the external policy, not the Russian Federation, but the corruption which kills Ukraine, which eats Ukraine like a cancer, we need to fight it. That's why we may make some investigations about the executive branch, because you see that people who rule the country, they don't want to have some cases, political cases, for our population. And now we make some investigations about the executive branch, about the ruling ministries, and I will the results of them publish on my Facebook, and in my future television programs I'll tell about the results of our
you will publish this investigation on your magazine, Our People, or not?
No,
it's a different format, right?
a different form. Here we give interviews of different politicians, different prominent people, and we give different viewpoints of people who are the representatives of different nationalities, of different political forces. But because we have edition which is twice per months, that's why we have no time to give the current situation the news. That's why we give more analytics than the news. And as for news, I usually give as the owner of this journal, as the politician, as the political scientist on my Facebook page.
And how many issues? 3,000 issues?
3,000 issues per
You want to increase, or you?
Of course, I would like to increase after we will widespread our journal all over, not even Ukraine, but all over the world, I hope.
That can be a good platform for Ukraine. That can be a good platform.
I would like the world to know about Ukraine, to know about new politicians, not only prominent such as, for example, Saakashvili or Petro Poroshenko, our president. I would like also to know about young politicians, about the people who establish different non-governmental organizations, who fight corruption, who created new businesses in Ukraine. I would like also to know about young people who work for the benefit of this country, who are involved in political process of the country.
You know, with Sergey, we are doing that on UAT time. We show young people young businessman
We have
to the rest of the world.
Well, actually, you know,
This is
you're
our
here with
philosophy
us,
also.
Yes. You comparing to the active people in the political scene, you're very young, but you're so successful. You've got your ideas, you've got some interesting projects, and you're not sitting, you know, back just watching and, you know, rarely posting something on Facebook, just like most people do. How do you manage to do that? Like, where do you find time? You have more than 24 hours per day?
She's
I
very
don't
busy.
treat myself as successful one. I think that I have the long way to go and to realize my potential. But I would like to be successful as other people who are already prominent, who are already in Ukrainian politics. And I see myself in Ukrainian politics, and that's why I'm so active in Ukrainian politics, because I'm really interested in the life of Ukraine.
And
I'm
this is your
really interested
motivation.
in the future.
This is your
of Ukraine.
motivation.
Yes, it's my motivation, because I'm a real patriot, and I'm not indifferent about the future of Ukraine.
And do you are in favor of the Ukraine in the European Union or Ukraine close to the European Union?
Of course, I would like Ukraine to integrate to the European Union processes. I would like Ukraine to be the European country. I would like to be Ukraine on high developed level. That's why I'm interested in the international support, not only support of the European Union, but also support of the United States of America, because these countries are more developed than Ukraine. Frankly speaking, we should recognize it. And of course, we are searching for this support. Of course, we are looking forward, and we are waiting and expecting for assistance from our international partners. And that's why we would like to implement these reforms, not to disappoint our European partners, because you as the representative of the European Union, you are the citizen of France. You said before that European Union waits from Ukraine the reform, the implementation of reforms just now. But it's the long process, and the corruption is the enemy of these processes. That's why first our major step should be fighting with corruption, and not only establishment of these new institutions, but also implementation and also their public work and oversight of
You
public.
say that for you corruption is the first problem for Ukraine. Not Russia, but do you think that Ukraine, in few years, when the war in the Donbass will end, do you think that Ukraine can be like a bridge between European Union and Russia? A bridge.
We'll see it in the future. It's the long perspective, but now the current situation is war in the eastern Ukraine. This fight between separatists and Ukrainian forces, it exists. That's why the situation is really difficult for Ukrainian government. Also, some needs to implement economic reforms, because we have agreement with the International Monetary Fund, and we need to implement tax reform, as you said before, and as Joe Biden, as the Vice President of the United States, said to the Ukrainian Parliament. That's why now there is the long way of implementation of these reforms. In the future, I would like Ukraine to be such bridge. I would like Ukraine to be the influential player on this international game. I would like Ukraine to be the influential player. Ukraine can be, yes, because
but it depends on the choices
we
we
are
make
situated
right now.
in the heart of Europe. We are situated
You
in the
are
heart
in the center
Europe.
of Europe.
And Ukraine is a rather large country comparing with other European countries, and Ukraine has got really influential potential and talented people. And I hope that everything is in our hands as Ukrainians.
Our time is up, as always, unfortunately. But it's true that we can be very influential if we fight that cancer.
Yeah,
You know, if
totally
we
agree.
find that cancer. if we fight that cancer. Otherwise, there is no other way. Well, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
very
with
much
us.
for
Thank you.
our communication.
Yes. It was United Country UAT time by First Ukraine. Our guest was Anastasiya Danylenko, a political scientist, managing partner of Our People magazine.
Olivier Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we'll show to you the real Ukraine.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.